So I just re-downloaded Hinge for like the millionth time, and the thought of going on another first date genuinely just makes me feel revolted, excited at the same time, mainly revolted. I am just like so tired of the lessons. Like, obviously I'm back on Hinge, so I haven't found my person. So every single person that I date or get into like some type of relationship with is a lesson. I'm done. Like, I feel like I have graduated. I have done all the lessons. I have dealt with all the different types of men, the man-child, the narcissist, the liar, the cheater, the fucking so on and so forth. Like, I am so sick of the lessons. So just putting that out into the universe that I have graduated, self-proclaimed, and I'm ready for my person to just like show up. That would be really fantastic. Okay, happy Friday.
I'm just wondering, if you're a single parent, do you ever just like sit there and think, will I ever be able to offer someone else loving my kid, or them getting to see me loved the right way? I question that all the time, which is crazy because I don't even go out and date. But 3.5 years post splitting up from his dad, and I wonder all the time, like, when will that happen for me? Or will it ever happen? Like, will there ever be a bonus person in our lives?
Just curious, anyone else in my shoes, you're in your 40s, I'm 43, you're single for the first time ever since you were like a teenager. I've been single for 7 months, which is the longest I've ever been single in my life. I've always jumped from relationship to relationship. My last relationship, honestly, I've been through hell and back just trying to get over that, realizing that it's better not to just jump into something just because you're lonely. Instead, taking a step back and like trying to find yourself, and that's some hard shit. And I don't think enough people talk about that, just how crazy it is being in your 40s and being on your own for the first time ever. By the time you're that age, you think you have it all figured out, you're fucking know everything. Like, that shit is crazy when you go from always having somebody to not having anyone to lean on. Friends, yes, of course you have friends, but it's not the same as having companionship, and you gain a routine with a person, just having that person to give love to and receive love from. And it's crazy. Like, it's a rough thing to go through. And again, when you're used to going from relationship to relationship, I was married for 13 years and I'm just not used to being by myself. I realized in my 40s, I don't even know how to change a smoke alarm battery. I don't even know how to change a drill bit in a drill. There's so many things that I still don't know how to do because I never had to do it for myself. And it's been an eye-opening thing for me, and it's honestly been the worst and best time of my life, and I've been appreciating it as much as I can, just laughing at myself and just making the best of every day. But healing is different. Learning to heal solo is hard. So keep it up.
For everybody in the dating world, I have a question for you. What is happening?
Oh, hey, nice, consistent, handsome, tall, emotionally regulated man with a full head of hair. I'm sorry. I only date medium, ugly, balding, brunette men children. Thank you.
I don't know what man needs to hear this, but you need to get off of Hinge. You need to get off of like dating apps. These dating apps are lying to you. They're pushing an algorithm that makes it seem like these girls don't want you or whoever doesn't want you. That is not true. You are worthy. You are attractive. Somebody out there wants you. There's like 7,000 people out there just for you. Okay? These apps are lying to you. They're fake as shit and they just want your money. It's literally A big CEO man who thinks he's hotter than you, smarter than you, and richer than you, and better than you. And he's making money off of hoping that you think you're a loser and that you get no bitches. I hope you know that. Please look inward. Fuck these apps. Go outside. Do what you love, and you're gonna find your partner right there. I promise you. And the bright side is, they'll enjoy what you enjoy.
Single men, let me let you in on a little secret for women that are about 34 and older, okay? They don't want to meet you for a date that starts at 8 p.m. They want to be in bed with their teeth brushed and their face washed by that time. So make the reservation for like 5:30, 6 o'clock, okay? You're welcome.
I guess the only problem I have with this is that a lot of times women complain about coffee dates that men offer to take them on, or hey, let's go get a drink, or let's go for a walk and see if we can get to know each other. It seems for them too cheap. Like you're devaluing my time. Like you don't really see me as important. But then all of a sudden, you're saying, well, let's hurry up and wrap this up so I can be in bed by a certain time. Now I get, well, don't invite me out after 8. I get that, right? But maybe even 7. Hey, let's do 5:30 because I want to be through everything at home and in bed by 8 p.m. So it seems like you're just trying to rush the process along. The priority isn't spending time getting to know the man, even though he's paying, by the way. The priority isn't getting to know the man. The priority is getting through something. If I find him, I do. If I don't, I don't. But the most important thing to me right now is getting back home and doing what I actually want to do. I don't actually want to spend time with him. I don't actually want to be around him. Who wants to pay for that? Y'all say y'all don't feel like the man's valuing you when he takes you out to coffee. What kind of value would a man feel when he's listening to something like this? But y'all don't think. Y'all just run your mouths.
I'm in Miami for the weekend. I've never seen a BBL in real life until coming here. Like, I can't help but stare. They're actually crazy. They're just so, like, lifted. So anyways, everyone here has one of those and fake boobs, and I'm just walking around with real small titties and a small ass, even though I feel like my ass isn't that small, but it feels small in comparison to the... Anyways, it's weird. It's not a real place here.
Women always ask me, what happened to men today? Great question. What started out as a good thing, encouraging men to respect women, has swung way too far in the opposite direction. Now, a lot of men are terrified of women, so they wait for perfect conditions before making a move. But courage doesn't exist without risk, and women can't respect men who don't risk anything. So as a man, if you want to be seen as confident, you've got to be willing to look stupid, to get rejected, to be misunderstood. So start by taking small risks. Approach women when you're out and about. Initiate plans with them. You'd be surprised how fast it'll work, because women nowadays, they're not turned off by that kind of effort. They're starving for it.
So I feel like that begs the question, is having a girlfriend embarrassing? Because I feel like it low-key can be. Like, look, I'm telling you right now, I'm not hating, but like I've definitely been in relationships where someone's like, oh, but Bryce, I'm your girlfriend. You're supposed to, and when they say the word girlfriend, I wince. Like, it feels embarrassing. Like, if we're being for real, it genuinely depends on who you're with and how they're acting, depending, like, just regardless of gender, of like whether or not being with them is embarrassing. But if we're just speaking in like totality, like from what I see on this app in particular, like the things I see posted, oh, it's so embarrassing to have a girlfriend, bro, because some of them intentionally embarrass you. Like, bro, the amount of posts we see where it's like some woman being like, should I break up with my boyfriend? Like, I just don't know. Imagine like a 4-minute video dropping from your girl being like, hey, I don't know if I should break up with this guy. And I will never forget that one video where that girl, her boyfriend got her flowers and then her dad got her flowers, and she was like, oh, this is why my standards are so high. Oh, like basically saying her boyfriend pales in comparison, being like, my boyfriend got me these, but my dad got me these. Like, what? Could you imagine? Like, that legitimately sounds so embarrassing. Like, I could not deal with that. So it's like, I do think we need to ask that question.
When I first told my ex-husband that I wanted a divorce, he was in shock. So when I finally came around to wanting to divorce my ex-husband, it was November of 2020. We were coming up on Thanksgiving and Christmas and his birthday and my daughter's second birthday. And I just was like, I'm going to wait till all those things are done. Like, we get along for the most part. Like, I've totally checked out, but it's not like we're like not getting along or he's abusive or anything like that. And then, man, do I wish I remember what he was upset about. So he's upset one night about something super, super trivial. Like, oh, I didn't do his laundry. Oops. Oh, I didn't do his laundry, or there wasn't toilet paper, or just something like so minute. So he like, we sit down after the kids go to bed, and I'm like, okay, like, you know, we went to the couples therapy, we want to try to communicate. Just like, hey, like, you know, something's clearly bothering you, like, what's going on? So I'm sitting there quietly, like, letting him talk. And he's like going on and on and on. I wish I remember what it was. About something just so trivial that he was upset about, and I just sat there silent. So he finishes talking. It's my turn, because that was like one of the only things I used to do that was like my downfall, was I would interrupt during a conversation. So I was quiet. It's my turn to speak, and literally my response was, well, I guess it's time for us to separate. His response literally was, I didn't see that one coming. Like I mentioned, I had been planning on leaving him. So shortly before we separated, our daughter had outgrown her crib, and so I had already put the kids in one bedroom, and so we literally had like an extra bedroom with a king-size bed that became his bedroom. I don't really remember our whole conversation, other than I just remember him like begging me to like not leave him, and I just was like, you know what, I need some time, I need some space, I need you to sleep in the other bedroom tonight. And I kid you not, I wake up the next morning to him bringing me like breakfast in bed, coffee, he had the kids all taken care of, the house was all clean, and I literally only had one request from him every single week. Was like, there was a certain day of the week where it was like in between his work days, all I wanted was for him to bring me a cup of coffee in the morning and deal with the kids, and trying to get his ass out of bed to give me a hand, he literally would like sigh and then like go and do it for me. And so for him to suddenly start bringing me breakfast in bed and coffee, I was like, absolutely not. And then again, suddenly he was like doing all this stuff around the house, and I was like, this is not okay. So I don't even think this went on for more than like 2 weeks before I just literally could not handle him trying to dote on me.
It honestly seems like you got a problem here, that the next man, assuming you have a next time, the next man is going to run into. You're very condescending, right? It obviously is two sides to every story, and so, you know, there's probably some validity to your statements. But the fact that the man seems like he was trying to do something, and we don't know the full story, I guess I don't, just based off this clip, it seems like he was trying to, he didn't do anything or step outside the marriage. It just seemed like he wasn't, quote unquote, fulfilling your needs. And when he said, okay, let me try to see what else I can do, you say, oh, it's not enough. Oh, well, you should have been doing that the whole relationship. That's funny, because you said, based on what we hear writing your statement here, that you had this thing and you downplayed it, where you were condescending is what you were doing. I have this thing, and sometimes I would do this, and there were some other things that you talked about you doing over the years. But we don't hear him complaining like you do. We don't hear his side of the story. This man, with you acting like this, being condescending, who knows how much longer he could have put up with this? Who knows how much longer? The man sits down to be emotionally vulnerable with you, to communicate with you. And really, this is the thanks that he gets. And y'all wonder why men don't open up to you guys. It's because y'all sit up here doing your makeup tutorials or whatever it is to get ready with me, when you could have been quiet. Nobody had to know this. Talking about how he's so bad and he's so terrible. But all of the little minute things, like throwing down his emotions and trampling them, oh, that's okay. Like being condescending, oh, that's fine. That should be fine. He should be okay with that. But the things that he did to me, whew, that's major.
I flipped a man off at my gym today. I was foam rolling, and he was this like Gen X looking dude who came, and he was like standing right over me, and I looked up, because you know other people, like they walk by, whatever. He was like standing right there. And I looked up, and he was, lo and behold, just looking me up and down. So I stared at his eyes until he caught my eyes, and he was so caught when he saw that I was staring at him. And as I maintained eye contact, I flipped that man off. And I would do it again. And I watched him scurry away, and he weaved between a few other women who were also stretching, made sure to get a good old look in there, and went all the way back to the other side of the gym. And then a little bit later, he came back and he pulled up a mat right next to me. So I went and did the exercises that I needed to do, and I left. I thought about talking to the people who work there, and I'm like, why? Why? I know how this goes. Every time I talk about them, they get defended. Nothing gets done. Why bother? I just wanted to leave, so I left. And I would flip that man off again. And if I see him again, and I recognize his face, I will. I could be meaner. I should be meaner.
Yeah, I said a profile, quite honestly, not talking about nothing. You talk about a man standing over you. I don't know why that would make you uncomfortable if that is the case. You talk about having a roster, so there's plenty of men standing over you. Avoid women like this at all costs.
Whatever happened to men going up to women? Whatever happened to it? We want that. Bring that back. Can we bring that back? Can we start a movement to just like approach the person that you think is cute? Because that's what's lacking nowadays, okay? People are missing opportunities from left to right. You could have met your soulmate, okay? That could have been your soulmate right there. But instead you're like, no, I'm good.
Dating is actually like so fun once you like know your worth. And like the second a guy shows his true colors, you're kind of just like, okay, bye. And you like don't put up with it and like don't make yourself upset by putting up with it.
I mean, if I was a judge, I would sentence my defendants to time spent on Dallas Hinge. Because, I mean, it's just the trenches. Like, Dallas Hinge has got to be one of the worst punishments you could receive.
Okay, this whole thing going around about Vogue and this article about is it embarrassing to have a boyfriend? Does anyone else feel like what we've all been wondering and why we've all gotten out of relationships recently has now been just overtly validated for us? Like now, instead of as a traumatized, hopeless romantic, wondering if I fucked up somewhere and I failed and, you know, why can't I find a good guy? I'm like, oh, it makes more sense. It's actually embarrassing because most of the guys out there aren't very good these days. While I find it very sad that this article even had to come out, I am so hopeful that this is a wake-up call for girls and their standards and guys and their boundaries and what they're willing to offer. So good job, Vogue.
You know, it's funny that these women like to get on here and say how terrible it is to have a boyfriend. It's a humiliation ritual. Terrible to be dating in Dallas, Arizona, Houston, Miami, Las Vegas, quite literally anywhere. But they never seem to put themselves in the conversation of who's making dating horrible. It's always a man's fault. It's a man that's doing it. It's a man that's ruining all of our lives. So all of the women are great, but men are terrible. Interesting.
This might be an unpopular opinion. It's probably why I'm single. I don't want to play the game. I don't want to learn She-Ra 7's techniques about using a man for his money. I don't want to manipulate anybody. I don't want to wait 3 days to intrigue their interest. If I'm interested, I'm just going to tell you I'm interested. I'm 41 years old. Would you like to pursue a relationship? Okay, great. Do we have common values? I'm really not. I don't have a roster. I don't have DMs. I don't post pictures of myself in a bikini. I'm not interested in like just stray, you know what I mean? I'm looking for the right one. And I feel like that is it's an almost impossible thing to find in today's society.
Just to be clear, that's total nonsense,
No,
right?
it isn't.
One second. I'm not doing anything towards improving our future?
I'm doing more than
How do you measure when you're doing enough and when I'm not doing enough?
Because all I expect of you is literally one thing, and you don't do that thing.
What is that one thing?
Support me, so that I don't have to work.
When you hear that phrase, support me because I don't want to work, run like your hair is on fire. The reason is, even if you can support and you let the other spouse stay at home, guess what? Now you ask your spouse to stay at home, you damaged their earning capacity, you built your career, you're setting yourself up for a hefty spousal support award in the future. She doesn't work, she has no income. no experience. She has been out of workforce for 5 years, 10 years. So again, you're here, support me because I don't want to work, not because I have to take care of the kids or anything else, because I do not want to work. Run. It's not worth it to be in that relationship.
4 times divorce, 4 times. Let's see, let's look. You tell me, what do you want to know?
What is the most toxic thing that you've ever done?
Okay, let's do this. All right, take them to court and then get a good divorce lawyer, of course. Take them for half of the retirement, take them half of their property, and then fight them for higher child support, okay? And a couple of years from now, hit you up for more child support every 3 years. Every 3 years, you go up from maybe 200 to 300 to 400 to 500, you bring it up to $2,000 per child. But I got one child right here, and right here, her daddy paying child support for her, of course, it always is.
I gave a guy who ghosted me a second chance, and then he ghosted me again.
I've been ghosted so many times in my life now that I think I found the recipe how to get over it and how to move.
I'm the one that got ghosted. I'm the one that got left behind. I'm the one that had to deal with the aftermath for 6 months.
I'm currently being ghosted. I don't think I've ever been ghosted before, but people were not joking. Like, this shit is so difficult.
Guys, I did see the guy who ghosted me today, and I'm literally so in love, you have no idea.
I think I'm getting ghosted and like it's fine. We only went on 4 dates, but
It's been 25 hours and he still hasn't responded to my text, so.
Hey guys, just hopping on here to tell you that no, I have not received a text back. It's been about 3 days since I texted the guy who ghosted me twice and a half, maybe once and a half.
Okay, so I'm freaking pissed. Pissed. Straight up ghosted me.
So I have been ghosted twice in the past month.
I ran into someone tonight who randomly ghosted me a few months ago.
So I was ghosted recently, and it hurt me a lot.
This hurts my feelings and hurts my ego, but I fear I'm being ghosted.
Hi, so I just got ghosted for the first time in my entire life, and I kind of want to talk about it.
I caved in, I double texted him, and I got ghosted again. So, yep, I got ghosted by the guy that I went out for a first date with twice.
I got ghosted by this guy 3 weeks later. I'm in his messages.
So, up until recently, I really thought that this idea of ghosting people was a Gen Z thing. And then I got ghosted by a 30-year-old, and I thought, this is very confusing.
I need somebody to tell me why I'm 42 years old on Tinder. I'm on Hinge, I'm on Tinder, I'm on Facebook dating. Who likes you, takes you on a date, asks you out on another date, but then ghosts you before that date, and there's a full circle back around and re-likes you again? Literally got liked, got ghosted, months passed, I got re-liked, and I reached out to be like, yo, did you mean to do that? I have been re-liked, re-ghosted, and re-ignored by the same dude.
If you asked her to change, would she have done it right now?
Yeah, she would have, yes.
If he says he doesn't like the outfit, he wants you to change, before you guys came out tonight, what would your response be?
I changed the outfit.
Why would you change the outfit?
Because it's respectful.
Okay, so what do you think about women that call guys insecure for saying something along those lines?
I don't think it's insecurity. I think it's borderline respect if you're trying to get into a serious relationship. Because who are you showing off for? You know what I mean?
See, that's why I'm dating her.
I have a saying in the school that I have online where the single you is the married you, right? So even when I'm single, I am looking the same as when I'm married. I'm talking the same as when I'm married. There's certain language I don't use. There's certain clothing that I don't put on, even when I'm single. But what women want to believe is the single them is different than the married them, that all of a sudden they're going to become modest and they're going to speak a different way and do a different thing. No, baby, I cook now, clean now. I take care of myself, I take care of the people in my life. I dress modestly. I make sure that I'm clean in my speech, right? The single you is the married you.
So what you got to say about the women who be like they're in the soft girl era, the villain girl era, and hot girl summer?
Life is about patterns, though, and what you've done in the past, there's a pretty strong chance that you're going to do it in the future. So that's what people don't realize, that when you practice being degenerate, that's not something you're going to lay down overnight. I tell men this too. Can we be honest? Men who are hoes, men who are out here sleeping around and then think that a ring is going to keep them faithful. It isn't. That's your pattern. That's what you've been doing. So the chances of you continuing to do that is pretty high. Like I really believe in the single us is the married us. So that's why I carry myself a certain way all the time. Regardless of my relationship status, there are certain things I'm not going to do, whether I'm single or married. That's what I want our people to return to. And we used to be this way. And that's how Black women got husbands, is being modest and being feminine and being, yes, I know how to make homemade biscuits.
So for all the men out there who are like, oh, women don't want to chase us anymore because they're all boss babe in their way through life and they're financially independent. Most of us are broke as fuck. Most women like myself are struggling financially in this economy. Half of my wage goes towards rent. And despite this, many women still don't want to find a man. Not because they're thriving. I'm certainly not thriving. I'm fucking flirting with financial ruin. But would rather be broke and alone than with you going 50-50, putting up with your bullshit and giving us the bare minimum. We are over it.
You know, it's funny. It's funny because these women think that this is a flex. They think, oh, wow, even when I'm broke and I'm in debt and all these other negative things about myself, major negative things about myself, we would rather be alone and single than to be with you because we ain't putting up with your stuff. Do you ever think that maybe a man wouldn't want to put up with a broke woman? Do you ever think that maybe a man wouldn't want to sponsor a broke woman? If y'all moving together, he's going to have to pay at least 70 to 80% of the rent. 70 to 80% of the bills, 70 to 80% of your car note, your gas, almost quite literally anything and everything. And you feel good because you bought a loaf of sourdough bread, fresh from the bakery. Oh, we're eating healthier. But we shop at Whole Foods. Well, you have extra money to spend. You don't buy anything or you don't do anything else. So I would hope that you are adding some value to the relationship. We only eat organic. You only eat organic because you only buy groceries for yourself. Most of y'all are selfish. And even, where are we getting this thing to where even knowing that a man's going to have to sponsor you, knowing that you're flat broke, you still think that you're some sort of prize to be won? Are you insane?
You know what's beautiful about this weather? If I peed right now, you wouldn't know if it's water or urine running down my legs. And I think that's beautiful. I have a question for the men. Why do you guys, tap it on there a few times before you stick it in? What is that about?
A random thought. What a time to be alive for men right now. You can literally go to the gym and see the baddest bitch ever walking around in literally next to nothing for free. You can go to the grocery store now. You're just seeing the fattest asses in front of you just swallowing up tiny little biker shorts. Coochie just eating those shorts up everywhere. Just girl at your local gym doing squats in this cute little bodysuit, just looking sexy. Coochie just swallowing up her skirt or shorts. And you don't even have to pay to see. You just have to show up to your local grocery store, gym, shopping mall, wherever. Everywhere you look, there's just hot chicks everywhere. You guys are lucky.
I give you full permission to me under one condition. You need to send me the evidence.
I'm getting back shots and I turn back and I look at him and he's giving me a fucking devious ass smile. I'm not letting him pull out.
I just want a man who's gonna tell me to sit down and shut the fuck up. I'm not gonna do it, but it'll turn.
Men, I'm gonna give you a word of advice. Next time you go on a date, don't ask her what she wants to do, where she wants to go. Make up your mind and make the decision yourself. Because I can promise you, most women on the planet want a guy who's decisive. They don't want to be asked, hey, what do you want? Where do you want to go? We don't like that. Girls hate that. They would much rather you plan the whole thing, even if it's something you want to do and we would normally not do. If you want to take us to an arcade, whatever, or a bowling center and then go to dinner at a steakhouse, that's totally fine. But the point is, if you're making the decision, on. And if you're planning it, that's so attractive to women. Trust me. Do that more often and you'll get so many girls.
Women are usually considered to be more talkative than men.
Oh, this just in.
We need a study for this?
A 2-year study.
2-year study finds women say more words than men.
And they start after 5 o'clock.
So we're holding it in all day, and then at the end of the day, they just all come spilling out.
Yes.
And you can't take it anymore.
Every single thought.
Why can't you just answer the questions and engage in, like, the words exist. You could talk back and then things would even out. But we have to make up for the silence and the one-word answers, which are dumb.
There is no space for the man to interject.
And another thing, Dina, I'm just thinking that.
I think you're wrong about that because oftentimes we set up a story. So I went to the store. I had to make a return.
Right.
I went to make the return. The guy,
Take us there.
the line was too long. So then I went to the other store.
Then what happened, girl?
And then the light came on in my car. What? And I didn't know what to do about it. So what do you think I should do?
And this is the problem.
Right.
So we keep going because,
right.
I
Did
don't
you hear
know,
what I said?
If he died halfway through the story, is he asleep?
Right.
What's happening? Do you feel that this study is true with us?
I feel like I don't use that many words.
I agree.
I agree with you. You ladies are perfect.
That's all I was getting to.
Okay. Good.
What's next?
Perfect.
We are in a fuggo epidemic. It is not the time to be desperate. If anything, it is the time to be single and save yourself from embarrassment and public humiliation. We need to be publicly humiliating the losers, not ourselves. Women beginning to outperform men in education, in finance, and social network. The list goes on and on and on. Leave the men behind. It is beyond me how women are even desiring the current pool of men that exist. I would understand if our media was displaying some of these really great men. All of our media now is displaying loser behavior because it is a mirror to our reality. There are no good men. And accepting the bare minimum, or when a man does a gesture outside of the bare minimum, he is not a hero. He is a person who we should have higher expectations for. The way you treat yourself is how you will allow others to treat you, and if a man cannot treat you as well as you treat yourself, get rid of him. I beg you to stand up and to have some self-respect.
Okay. So the golden nugget sentence there, which we will get back to in a second, is there are no good men. Did you hear that? There are no good men, is what she said. And we'll get back to that in a second. First of all, her face doesn't move. How could you relate to somebody? I will say it again, and I will say it over and over and over. I know there's women out there who do these shows and they're like, I get Botox and I get, yes, honey, you look strange, right? This pattern of just women obsessing over youth, like, and not being able to just like let it go. It's such a privilege to age. Like, I mean, really, it's such a privilege to age. Secondly, this desire to look like a mannequin all the time and like dead is just crazy to me. I mean, I don't know how anyone can relate to you if you can't squint, if you can't raise your eyebrows in surprise, if you can't smile and see. You look creepy. You look so creepy. I say it with love because I understand that as women age, they get nervous. And I understand that, you know, all the feelings happen about like, what does this mean for me and my attractiveness? But I tell you, you look at a woman who's aging gracefully and you put her side by side with one of these like filler and Botox frozen monsters, and there is no comparison.
I actually think the golden nugget sentence there is get rid of them. Modern women are dead set, are happy to get rid of a man until trouble weasels its way around the corner. Then all of a sudden, well, you know, where is that sassy man at? Oh, I want some validation and attention today. Where is that sassy? He's sassy, but where's he at? We need him to buy our drinks. Can you come over here? Well, we wanted to get rid of you, but we need you to fund our lifestyle. We need you to talk to a friend of a friend and get us on this yacht. We seem to be having trouble protecting and providing for ourselves. We need you to come out here and make sure that we're safe. All of a sudden, you're not sassy no more. All of a sudden, we don't need to get rid of you anymore. Y'all say a lot of stupid stuff on here. You sit in a car that a man built talking about how you don't need a man, how you need to get rid of a man. Just immaturity. Just stupidity. And they'll go on like this. You think it's just they're immature. They're young. What do they know? I mean, you have teenage kids that pop off at the mouth all the time, except that they're not kids anymore. But apparently in their mind they are. Apparently in their brain they are. You could go through college, through university, get your bachelor's, get your master's, get a PhD, and still talk this stupid. Isn't that amazing? You can pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for your education and still sit up in your car outside of a Subway, just finished the perfect foot long, washed it down with a Sprite, had a chocolate chip cookie for dessert. Life is fantastic. Wipe your mouth off and start talking stupid like this. Only in America.
Dating is trash right now because the men are not doing well financially. And this is being reported on, yes, but I'm also speaking from like in the field. In the last 2 years, majority of the guys that I've met on dating apps have all been unhappy in their career to some varying degree. I would say like the finance guys all have expressed wanting to be making more money. And the blue collar and blue collar adjacent guys have all sort of expressed feeling like they've hit some like max capacity in the amount of money that they can make in their industry or their field, and then wanting to do like a career pivot to correct for that, but then also suggesting like, well, let me go get a master's, and then incurring student loan debt on top of an already large amount of student loan debt, which personally I think is not a good idea. And then I just see it becoming this like vicious cycle. So like men are raised to believe that like they need to be the provider. And so if they're not where they want to be in their career, they're not where they want to be financially, then they don't feel that they can be providing. So they can't actually commit and settle down in a relationship, but they're still out there dating because they want the physical intimacy. Whereas women, like, we're in the dating field looking for a relationship, and most women are making as much, if not more, than their male counterparts today. So we're out there actively looking, but then, you know, the men aren't actually available for a relationship because they're not where they want to be in their career or financially. And so then the women experience rejection, and the more rejection we experience, the less we want to be actively in the dating pool. And so we take ourselves out. And how are we ever gonna like get together and procreate if like we're tapping out? And it's easy for women to tap out. I think a lot of us like find celibacy very peaceful. And so we bounce. But then like I'm out here, and it's like the more I feel rejection and the more I get discouraged, and I'm like, okay, like I'm really not meeting anybody who's on my level, or I'm not meeting somebody who's like a good match for me, the more I get into the mindset of like, well, I'm a single person with a single income household. Like I need to do whatever I can to like set myself up financially to live in this world as a single person. And so then I work really hard on having my finances in order. And the more that I've got my finances in order and I've got my shit together, the harder it gets for me to find somebody who's on my level, because now I'm just like continuing to outpace the guys that are in my age range. And so it's becoming this like impossible loop that I don't know how to get out of, because I'm also not really willing to like lower my standards or accept like disrespect or just like weird behavior. Like I don't have time for that, nor do I care to like entertain that. So I don't know what the answer is. I'm not saying it's like the guy's fault that they're not making the amount of money that they want to be making, or that like the amount of money that one would feel is enough to feel comfortable getting into a relationship and like being able to be a provider. Although I think most people, doesn't matter your gender, like most people are willing to argue at this point that like you don't need to be the complete breadwinner or provider or whatever. Like it's a little bit more 50-50, but regardless, if that's how they feel, then that's how they feel. And that's what I'm seeing. I'm not just saying it because I'm like theorizing. Like this is what I am seeing in the guys that I'm meeting. And this is primarily on dating apps, but this is what's happening. And I don't know how we get out of it.
I mean, nobody's doing well financially. Not even y'all, even though y'all like to say that y'all are. We just heard from a woman say, oh, we like to be boss babes and we like to be this and that. broke. We're broke. We're struggling financially, especially in this economy. So really, honestly and truly, it only makes sense that men are saying, I want to improve. I don't like where I'm at. Y'all say y'all want an ambitious man until a man starts talking to you about, I feel like I'm stuck. I want to go do this. I'm thinking about going and doing that. What he's trying to talk to you about is being better. He's trying to talk to you about improving. But you sit up here and make a TikTok talking down on men who are trying to say, I'm trying to figure out how to get more money. Are y'all in? Do y'all ever think about what y'all say before y'all get on here?
So I'm on my TikTok and I see a lot of like girls posting like, oh, this is the kind of money I'm making as a midnight ballerina, or like, oh, like you can't make this kind of money or whatever. And I feel like obviously it's just for like likes and stuff, because that is not the reality for a lot of midnight ballerinas. Especially if you're not living in Miami or Dallas or any of these really big cities that have way more clientele. I just feel like it's setting such a wrong example for women, especially young women that are 18 or 19 years old or are in a pinch for money. This is an SW job. So I would recommend highly, if you are 18 or 19, like find any other job to make money, being a server, a cart girl, bartending, whatever, before you consider putting on high heels and like dancing around for creepy old men. Going off of that, like you are gonna have to invest in yourself. You can't just like show up to these clubs. Like find the best rated clubs in your area, and you're gonna have to invest anywhere from $25 to $200 on a pair of dancer heels. Like you're gonna have to invest in yourself and your look. Like call ahead before you go and see what they're looking for. Like see what the dress code is, but just expect that you could get denied. It happens. Like you need to be facing rejection, while like not every club is gonna hire you. There is a lot of substance abuse and alcohol abuse in these clubs. Like you are there to be like an entertainer. Like people are there to party and do crazy things. So if you have a history of that, or you know, you have a hard time saying no and you can't balance that for yourself, like you're just going to get wrapped up in that. So I wouldn't recommend that if you have a history with that or you can't balance it. Because if you're working 4 nights a week, then congratulations, you're like partying 4 nights a week. And these girls, you are not going to be making that kind of money. You are not. The girl that's on here like, I made $4,000. What were you doing for it? What were you doing for it? There are girls, yes, at these clubs that make crazy money, but what are you doing for it? If you have consistent regulars coming in to see you and they're doing rooms with you and they're tipping you and you're not doing anything for it, like you've built your clientele, yes, absolutely. It is possible. You have a great night where you are doing rooms back to back. You're in the club and it's a club where they do a lot of floor work. Absolutely. But if you're making that kind of money every night, chances are you're doing something for it, or you're working in a very high-end club. Like, so if you can't say no to these men, or if you're in a pickle for money and like, you know, you're willing to do whatever, but then you're gonna like be upset about it, then no, I don't. Like if you have a history of SA, like no, do not put yourself in this, because it is like the industry where people do that. And I don't judge anyone for it, but I just feel like all of these girls coming on here saying that they make all of this money, it's either because you live in a great location, you've built up a bunch of clientele for yourself, or you're doing extras. No one can change my mind. Don't even. So just, all of this is just to get likes. Like you are not going to make that kind of money. You do not get a paycheck. So if you are lazy and you only go to work 1 day a week and you make $400, then congrats, you have $400 for the whole week that you made. So just prepare for that. Like yes, as a dancer, like I am grateful because the money that I make is, of course, more than the typical person at, say, like a serving job or a bartending job. But there are nights also where you have bad nights and you make $40 or $60 or $20, and like you still have to pay house, like you still have to tip out. Like, find a good club if you're going to do it. Find a place that you trust. Build your clientele. Try to work as often as you can, and don't get wrapped up in the stuff. But don't expect to be making that kind of money. It also comes with a lot of trauma because you're dealing with a lot of men that are coming into these places that either don't know how to talk to people outside of the club, don't know how to get women, have weird fantasies, or are just there for a good time. And like, you will see a lot of regulars, but it's just some things to be aware of. Like, if you have to get super drunk all the time as well to like talk to men or get on stage, and it's been weeks of this, like, choose a different occupation. Like, I highly recommend to people to not do this job unless you have the right mindset for it, and use it as a stepping stone to get to where you want to be in life. Or like if you're just in a really tight pickle and like you need money to help yourself. But I don't glamorize it. And I don't suggest, especially for young women, to become a dancer like at such a young age. And I just wanted to shed some light on the realities of it, because it's not what everybody thinks it is. It is great. You get to set your work schedule. You get to go in, you know, whatever time you want, basically. You get to get cute. Like, I have become like a social butterfly at my job because I've known them for years. So like, I know a lot of people, and it's great to find like girls that you trust, like a small group of girls that you can work with. Like, you team up with girls to make money. If they are having a good night, they can bring you into that, or vice versa, and you guys can work together to like make money. But there are dark sides of it. Like, girls also fight with each other over money, or, you know, like customers and things like that. And just like men making women uncomfortable. So just keep all of these things in mind as a whole. And if you decide to be a dancer and you realize like it's not for you, then like there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just trying to tell you, don't expect to put on a pair of heels and go in this club and make a bunch of money, because it's not the reality of it at all. Okay, love you, bye.
There's one comment that says, "We are in a recession. I used to make so much without doing dances. Now there's no customers and 20 girls." Another guy says, "It's like trading stocks. People talk about their wins, but not their losses." Another woman says, "A lot of them are doing more than what they're saying, especially in Florida." Aren't they all? Aren't they all? A woman says, "I haven't made any money in 3 weeks. That's crazy." Another woman says, "Midnight ballerina here. This is facts." Y'all will go out there and do whatever you got going on and run headlong into this and still won't make a change. Y'all will find out that maybe this is not the career for me and still won't make a change. Y'all will find out that maybe this type of stuff will stunt your growth and it still won't make a change. Be careful out there.